Alright, okay, now welcome to this second teardown video. So this is the second page or second template we're building based off the Slack design. Now, if you haven't seen the other template or the first page, the sales page, you can go back and watch that video. Or if you want to just sort of build this pricing page, then feel free to watch this video. Now, here's the pricing page we're going to be copying or trying to design something similar to. This page is stunning. I have to say, what Slack have done with it, some of the features, like notice how I'm scrolling here, look, and how it jumps around. It's stunning design, beautiful design. Great page. What we've done, because we've already built the chat sales page, we've done that sales page version, which I've got here. A lot of these row elements that you see inside this design will help us create this design similar to the pricing page, especially things like the text and the images on either side, like these images and text blocks. All we'd have to really do is go through and actually clone some of these or copy some of these rows from this template and just paste them into our new design. This with the sort of text on the left and image on the right. Then all we need to do is to switch out the images. Same for some of these benefit sections. These are similar text. We're going to be using the same font. We're just mixing up the colors and the images. So if you haven't seen us create these pages in the sales video, you can go back and watch them. Or of course you can just obviously create them by how we're doing it, by putting two columns and then splitting up with the text and stuff. So I'm going to be copying some of the rows directly from this chat sales page. That's why I was saying if you haven't seen that video, you can go back and watch it and see it through. So that's what I'll be doing when I make this new pricing page, is I'll be jumping between the two pages, the chat sales page, cloning or copying the row and going into my new page and pasting it across, just to save me lots of time and speed up the entire process. So let's jump in the dashboard and get this underway. I'm going to open up tabs here. So here's my pricing. Let's go to the top, my pricing page. Let's go and create a brand new page here. I'm going to go for a blank template. I could actually clone my previous template that I had and remove some of the elements out of it. So that's another option. You can just go and clone my chat sales page and then delete elements that I don't want and rows that I don't want. That's also an option, but I'm going to create this from scratch just so you guys get to see us doing it. Chat pricing, and as before I'll publish this and then I'll go to that page later. So this is the area we're going to start with. This got this headline, and then we've got the pricing blocks that they've done here. We'll be creating featured boxes for these and bringing these colors through. So here's my blank page. Let's open up the live editor. And we'll run through doing the typography. So I'm going to open up the typography, do the typography first, page settings, etc. Next I'm going to page settings and do the other scripts. This is the CSS that lays everything around. You'll be able to get this on a link below as well. So a lot of this I'm actually just copying from my other template. The CSS is a bit different, so I'll leave that one. I'm dropping this script in here as well. Okay, so first I'm going to add a couple of one column rows in just to get that spacing effect when I want to scroll down the page and show you more. So I'm just going to put that in, and I'm going to put my first one is going to be a one column row at the top anyway. So what I'll do is I'm going to jump back to here. I'm going to copy this row and I'm just going to paste it into here. Now obviously the font is white and it's got a lot of padding, but doesn't matter, I can change all that. I'm going to change some fonts up. Okay, so we've got a headline in. The next section we're going to do is these 4 pricing things. Now, what we'll do with these designs is I'll create one, pretty much one all the way, and then we'll just clone it all the way across, change the colour, so I'll make it really easy. So I'll do the first one, I'll add in a new row, and we'll put in 4 columns. We've got 4 pricing. And then I'm going to start building the first featured box, which I'll clone down, and probably clone that all the way across, and then we'll change all the colours. So I'll build this first one. Right, so you see me build the top section, nothing showing on the page just now. I'm going to save and close this and refresh it. I added a bit of CSS. If you noticed, I put the CSS in the little cogwheel I clicked on, and there it is. That's that CSS pulling through that orange colour that you see there. So we've done the title section, need to put some more padding on that. But there's the featured box. It's a transparent box, and I applied the colour using the CSS that I put in to this cogwheel. I'll open it up again here. So this CSS class, this is the class here, which is pricing box top 002. That calls in the CSS from my page settings. Okay, so that's how we've done that. And you notice it had a zero bottom margin, which makes it flush because I'm going to add another bottom section of this box here, so which I'm going to do now. Actually, I probably could clone down the one I've got and switch the. Actually, what I'll do is I'll clone this one down, and then if I open up this, my CSS that I'm going to use is box bottom, which I'm going to drop in here, like that, 02. You can see it's changed straight away there, so we've got the bottom has gone curved and the top has gone flush. And inside this, I'm only building a button in here, so I can go in and delete these two, or delete all these because I don't need them. And then I can just add my button. So the main thing there is the CSS that's making that flush, you know, the curved top and the straight bottom meeting the bottom underneath and the straight and the curved bottom. So that's like all CSS making these little pricing boxes. So you can, once you create these once, remember, you can pretty much clone them onto any design, so, or any of your sites. So let's throw in a little orange button here. Right, so there you have it. That's my first orange box. Now the other three boxes, again, are identical with obviously different text and pricing and things, but they're identical shape and design. So all you have to do is clone these now across, and then I will go in and edit the CSS that's inside each of the boxes. So what I'll do is I'll clone them through, and then I'll show the CSS that I've put in and change some of the text up. So Simply all I'm going to do is start doing is cloning them like this, and then I'll drag this one into place here if it wants to go in there. Then I clone the bottom as well, drop that in, and then I'm going to be going in and changing this CSS here where it's the element class pricing bottom. I've got them numbered slightly differently, so I've got 0, 2, 3 and so on. So if I update that, you can now see it's gone to the blue. Then I'll get my bottom CSS as well and edit this in the element class there, and you can now see it's gone blue. So I'm going to start working through and doing all these, and as you see me build one, you probably don't need to see me to build all these, so I'll just skip through this, fast forward you through this video, and we can see how we then do the next section. So there you have it. We've put all of the pricing boxes in place. You can see the colors have changed, the CSS is there. I've tweaked all the CSS, I've changed the pricing as well in the text, and done all the buttons. So it's really just a case of choosing different style button colors, different blues, different tones of blues and things to match each of the green boxes that we made. Put some spacing elements in these three, so the orange, blue and purple, so that it drops or pushes down and makes the plus, the popular one, stand out a bit higher. So let's save and close this and refresh the page. And there you have it. We've got the little pricing boxes all done. You know, we're working off this. We're trying to sort of match something similar to this. We've done our pricing boxes, and we've made this one stand out slightly more as well. So let's move on to doing the bottom section. We're going to do the bullet list section. All this section's here, and the same for this. I'll be doing one, and then I'll be cloning it through on mine. So jump to my page, open up my editor. So I'll do the first one, and then I'll go through and I'll clone them all, each one through, so then you can see, you don't have to watch me doing each individual one. What I'm going to do for this is create another row as well. So I want to add another 4-column row. So I want a headline, so I'm just going to go and copy my other headline from here, drag that down. Okay, so there we have it. We've built this first, save and close this, we built this first bullet section below using that little bullet features, the chat icon as well that we're using as the orange one, and you've got the orange, blue and obviously green. So that, you saw me do the featured box, that was to put this line in place and make it a coloured line set at 3 pixels, it's just a line across, and if it was, obviously I had it set at 10 pixels, I changed it to 3. If it was 10 pixels, it would be a really fat line, so that's why I set 3. I'm now going to go and clone this all the way across again, and then I'll change all the colours, put all the different text in, and change the icons for the bullet list. Pretty much, basically just cloning everything and mixing up the colours to match the, the blue colour above. So, and I'll obviously change all the colours as well to match the blue, like for this line, and for the bullet block I'll have to just go through, change the icon out, and so on. So going through these, and I'll start working my way through all these. So there we have it. I've gone through and changed them all. I've put in the colours, the different blue, green and purple. If we save and close, then we jump back to this page. And there you've got it. You can see it's starting to take shape. It's looking good. I've got my pricing down. I've got my bullet list below. And I've got my colours all matching and my icons all matching. So that's that section. Let's move on. There's the bullet list of Slack. Let's move on and do this kind of bar that we've got across here. And we've got this sort of testimonials. This is sliding testimonials. That's going to be tricky for us to do without, we have to have an element that does that sliding testimonial effect, but probably create a testimonial block. And let's crack on. So let's jump back. So there's my first one. What I'm going to do for this, I'm going to put in 2 rows of testimonials. So I'm going to clone this one and edit it on this side, and then I'm going to clone this entire row down, and then just go in and edit the text of each, of each of the people. So I can just clone this by clicking that. I've got my second row. Now I can go through and just edit each of the text inside these testimonials. Right, so there we have it. I've done the text and the images, switched them all out, updated the text, save and close this section, reload this page, scroll on down. So here's our blue coming in. Lovely colour tone, that blue, beautiful tone, and goes with these testimonials. See, we've got this little nice darker rounded circle around that, the picture of the person there, the image looks great. So there's our testimonials. Now going on down Slack, do this section with the highlighting all the businesses and the logos. So we're going to build that. Let's go on. Now for the image layout, what I'm going to do is create 5 different text blocks with each of the individual images in. So I'll do the first one and show you what I'm doing. The reason I do it like this is so if you were doing logos of brands and you wanted to link out to those people, you could do it this way. So if I do, let's just pick all these. So I'm going to press Control or Command, see if it inserts them in my order. There we go. So they're all in. If I insert, that could be line center. So, back again. They should have gone center. Did I click center? Let's check. Center. Let's put a bit of padding at the top of them as well. Line center. Insert. Right, they're still sitting on the left. Let me fix that. Okay, I got them there in the middle, but I aligned them actually to the right of the text block. You could reduce the width of the text block. Text block's actually gone to full width. So I could bring the text block in to be 500, 600 pixels depending on the width of each of all the logos. I'm adding in a whole bunch of different logos, so I'm going to throw them in now, and that's how I'm adding them through the media library in the text block. So we could, if you were doing this with your own customers, you could then link out these images to their company webpage. So if you were putting them in your own ones or brands, you could link out to theirs. Alternatively, the other way to do it is just create one image with each of the brands on each row. So let me just go ahead and do the other ones. Okay, so there you go. I've got them all in. You can see I've tidied up the spacing on that, and I've put them in each the same way. Like I said, you could just create one. You could just create one image of all of them on if you wanted to. This could be a whole one image, or you could create them in rows, as one image. That's entirely up to you. If we save and close that, reload the page, there you go. We've got that done. So let's go on to the next section. Here we have a text on the left, image on the right. So what I'll do for this is actually I'm going to go and copy one of the rows from my chat page, my chat sales page, bring that across, and then change all the images out and the text and stuff. So if I jump to the chat page, and there's a green, I want text on the left, image on the right. So that would work. What would be easier if I don't have any white text. I was looking for a white text one because I'm putting it onto a green background, so it doesn't matter. I can just change all these. So what I'll do is I'll click this button here, which copies it, and I go back into the chat pricing live editor and paste it in. So I'm hovering down to add new row, then I'm clicking on the paste icon there. So in comes the chat page. Now, because all the font of this is, I'm going to need to change all the background, so I need to start going in, editing this background image. We don't need that, so I'll take that off. I want to update, I'll keep that image actually. I'll change all the font colors and then the background green color. Okay, so there you have it. There's that. I've edited all the text, changed the font colors to white, and I've pulled in the Overlay Optimizer button. So firstly, I'm going to show you the text. If I bring this up, and you can see here in the text what I've done, I've just highlighted parts of the text and then gave that text a font color. You can see it in here. Look, we've got span color. There's that bright yellow that we're using to add that font color, because it makes them keywords stand out nicely on that green background. And you'll notice I've got this Overlay Optimizer. I went to the chat sales page and I copied this Overlay Optimizer from the top here. Pretty much the same design, same text. I just reduced the radius on the button. You'll see if we open that up, and inside I've got the video as well. So I've just changed the radius on the button inside. Let's jump in here. In the styling section, the border radius is at 5 pixels. So it's the same button again, saves me just making all that work, making the page, etc. So I can save and close and then move on to the next section. Reload. There you go, you can see it in place there. Scroll down, there we go. Click on the overlay. Oops. There we go. So let's go on. We've got this section, we've got the purple. We've also got this one, the white, and then we've got a yellow. Now, all of these are pretty much the same. It's just a case of changing the font. So this purple one could be the yellow one to change the image and the background colors, and then we've got this middle one. It's just a case of switching the image round. This is not a this one's not a split 2 column. It'll be a third and a 2/3 and a third row. This is a half and half 2 column row, and this one will be possibly. Let's have a look. I might do a third and a 2/3 for that, so I'll come back to that. But so we're doing the first row, the purple one. Okay, so we're building this row. I've copied down this text. I'm actually going to, I want this text to sit over a bit more with the image. So I'm going to try this one, 2/5 and 3/5 row. I'm going to move everything into that because I don't want the third. The text sits a bit too far out on the image sits too far on the left, and then the text. So let me just, I'm going to put it up like this. So change all the, we have 100 and we had 90 and standard rows. I'm just copying all the styles across, and then I'm going to move all my text up and then delete this other row. So I'm going to put all this up here. So it just brings that image into the middle more rather than sitting further out to the left. So I'm going to bring that in. There we go, delete this row, and then I'm now going to start putting in more text in here. So we have our row done there. Okay, so there's the text in. I've also added in this 10 pixel border bottom to this page, that color. You can just see the row in there. So there's that section done. Save and continue. So I need to build another row like this, which is further down, which is going to be my yellow row, and then I've got this one in the middle here. So I'm going to build this, just looking at what Slack do nicely. We could do this on our page. You'll see that this text doesn't line. It's not the same as this row above. So this row that we've created in OptimizePress is a 3/5 and a 2/5 row. You can see the line here, but if I scroll down, what Slack have done is then tucked it over a little bit more, slightly different. And we can do that as well. We can just create a third and a 2/3. It's actually the same row I had before to get that same effect. So probably do that. I might as well do it because we can create that and that sort of alignment where it sits further over. So let's actually do that rather than cloning this page down. Let's do the next row. Okay, so moving on, what I've done, I've gone ahead and added in the rows. Because they are just same rows and blocks of text, you don't need to watch me build them, I thought, all the way through. So it's the same as the one I built at the top, and I've done the bottom one as well. I will explain to you, this one is a 2-column row. So what I've done here was added a new row, and I chose the 2-column option. Okay, and I split it either side to get this layout. And the next row was a 1/3 and a 3/3. So it's this one, sorry, 2/3, 1/3, and a 2/3 row. Okay, and what that does is sits this image over slightly more, like I said in the previous part of the video. So I hope I've not confused you about the line in the text. But if I go back now and reload this page, what you'll see here is here's the purple row done there, and then we've got the second row, and then we've got that yellow row. Okay, so I switched out the images and stuff, all just rows I'm creating. Here's the line. So if I hover the mouse here, you can see this text is aligned in this position on the purple row where my mouse is. Now if I scroll down to the yellow row but keep the mouse in the same place, you can see the text sits over more to the left with the image on the left. Exactly how Slack done it in their video, or sorry, on their page. We've created it by using different width rows on each of these two. And like I said, the middle one was just a split 2-column row. So that's that section done. Moving on, this is another row. Let's jump back and do that. We can probably already have that row as well, actually. So let's have a look. Okay, that was another row as well. That was a row which was add new row, and I chose the 2/3 and 1/3 row. And then I've copied all the text. So I just copied my text down actually from this text block. I cloned this down, pulled it into place, just edit the text. And then I switched out the image here and added a spacer just to push this image down slightly more in line with this text. Could increase that even more actually and just bring it to its center. But that's just another row. So another row in there. The 2/3 on the left hand side, the 1/3 on the right hand side. So that's that row. And now we're going into, well, they do a lovely FAQ section. We don't have elements that can do this kind of style and layout, but we can use one of our FAQ, our frequently asked question elements, to get a similar effect. So let's go back and start building that one. what I'll do is I'll add it in here. So I'm going to clone this down. So there's my FAQ. I'm going to clone these down, just add a few more in place. Okay, save and close that. Refresh the page. We've got our section there, then we've got our other section, we've got our FAQs, and we're getting there towards the bottom. What Slack have here is that button that they put at the bottom of their sales page, if you remember from that video, and we have a similar button already on our sales page here, which I've made. And so I'm going to copy this across and use this in my current pricing page. So if you haven't seen me build this button, you can go into the other video, the chat sales page video, and watch me build this button. It's obviously towards the end of that video. So I will copy this entire row from here, go into pricing, open up the live editor, and then drop it at the bottom. So I'll paste it here. I'm just going to go in and jig around this text. So there you have it. I've put it in. I've just changed the title on that, and I've got my button in there as well. And this is a featured box with a transparent box, a little border on it. So if we save and close, reload. There you go. There's our button that highlights the border, and we also want to have the same footer that we done in our sales page here. So I want to copy that one over as well. Just have the logo to add. So there's the footer in. Let's have the logo to add at the top, and also adjust some of this spacing around. But pretty much there you have it. There's our pricing page done. Styled off the Slack, the beautiful stunning Slack page with brightly bold colours that they've got. It's a beautiful page. And there's our page similar. We've styled it off there using their colours. Taken all the inspiration from Slack. I mean, totally. So we love that page so much. We use Slack every day inside OptimizePress with the team chatting away, and everyone loved this page. We thought, let's take inspiration. Let's show you how you can build a page like Slack are doing. With colours and great images, you can get a nice stunning page like this. And there you have it. There's the page that we've done. So there's the final. What I've done now, I've just dropped in the logo at the end and added a 100 pixel spacing element here, and you can see the logo as we scroll. We've got that white nav bar coming in at the top here, just like we had on the chat sales page. So I've done that last, just dropped that in. The CSS and all the coding is already in. We put that in the start of this video, but that's what I've just done there. So you can see the logo, and if you have a navigation bar, it'll sit, obviously you bring in your menu, and it'll sit on the right there. So there you have it. That's that page. Thank you so much for watching this long video. Appreciate they are long. I've tried to obviously make them show you as much detail, but also skip over things that you don't need to keep seeing me do and repeating them. So your feedback's always great. If you have any feedback on all these videos, it's really good to let us know how we can improve them, make them better, and obviously all the templates you want to see, which ones or sites do you want to see, watch us build them, and we'll have a go with them. So this is the chat pricing video. If you haven't seen the chat sales page video, jump back and watch that one. And as for now, we'll see you in the next teardown video.